Hello everybody, welcome to Cruising America's Waterways. I'm Jonathan Edwards, and in this program, we continue exploring America's most important historic waterway, the Erie Canal. The first commercial route to our nation's interior, it was man-made, an engineering wonder, and an immediate success that has endured for almost 200 years.
In our last episode, we followed Juan and Jerry on their hire boat adventure. I stopped at a special bakery in Pittsburgh that featured a variety of baked goods made especially for dogs. Customers, and their pets, are welcome to check out the carrot chip bagels, pup pizza, peanut butter biscotti, and canine crackers.
This is a pup cake that has a little biscuit stir on it, and it's made with, it's a muffin with peanut butter and cream cheese frosting, which is okay for dogs.
Well, this time I come home with something for everybody. I've got a gift for Pearl, his own little doggy cake.
Where blacksmiths once shoed horses and feed stores stocked grain for mules, today's canal-side stores sell fuel for boats and food for man and dog alike. The farmers market is just a short walk from the canal in Lyons, one of the many small communities that welcome today's boaters. The Lyons National Bank building, constructed in 1929, is active as a bank, but has the look and feel of a bygone era. It's like stepping back in time, and that's one of the joys of traveling the Erie. We continued east to Baldwinsville, where a weekend festival was underway. The village is home to Lock 24, the second busiest lock on the Erie. Boaters tied up to walls near the lock to take advantage of the live entertainment, good food, and fun. We tied up at the Lock 24 restaurant, which provides a view of boats as they lock through.
So the specialty here is fish, right?
Correct.
How about a haddock sandwich and an order of salt potatoes?
Salt potatoes, very small potatoes boiled in very salty water, were invented in Syracuse.
Get yourself a salt potato. And dip it in butter. And eat it.
Guard gates are strategically located along the canal. Their primary job is to protect people on and aside the canal in the event of a major mechanical failure. This guard gate at Lock 23 near Oneida Lake, for example, would prevent the uncontrolled surge of water heading downstream that could be created by the failure of the lock gates themselves. When activated, the massive guard gate drops down, shown here at 10 times normal speed, blocking the flow of water. We happened upon the opening festivities for Syracuse's Inner Harbor, which is being redeveloped as a major canal port.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I want to welcome you to our beautiful Inner Harbor. What do you think? Gorgeous? Isn't this great?
The Inner Harbor is on the southeastern end of Onondaga Lake, about 6 miles from its junction with the Erie.
Inch by inch and row by row, gonna make this garden grow. All it takes is a rake and a hoe and a piece of fertile ground.
A marina, visitor center, cruise boats, and one of America's largest shopping and entertainment complexes, Destiny USA, are a part of the redevelopment plan.
This Greek Revival building behind me is the Waylock building. The Waylock building was built in 1850 to literally weigh the canal boats that came down the Erie and Oswego canals so that the tolls could be assessed for the canal boats. It's located at the corner of Erie Boulevard and Oswego Boulevard in Syracuse, New York, and of course Erie Boulevard was once the Erie Canal and Oswego Boulevard was once the Oswego Canal that met here in the heart of Syracuse. Today, this Waylock building is a museum that houses archives including photographs and other memorabilia of the Erie Canal days.
Canal-era architecture can be found throughout the city, including several banks, where canal tolls were deposited until the late 1880s, when they were abolished. Syracuse's City Hall was built in the early 1890s, utilizing local Onondaga limestone, carried by canal boats to the construction site. Overlooking Onondaga Lake is Ste. Marie among the Iroquois, a recreation of a 17th century French fort that once housed Jesuit missionaries. Today, it's a living history site that explores Native American culture within the nations of the Iroquois Confederacy. Also on the shores of Onondaga Lake is the Salt Museum, which tells the story of Syracuse's very profitable salt industry. Salt could be shipped inexpensively on the canal system, helping Syracuse become the nation's #1 supplier during the Civil War era. The Salt Museum is also the visitor center for Onondaga Lake Park, which includes a marina. While in Syracuse, we visited a bakery that bakes one thing: Italian bread. Now, it's available in several different shapes, but it's all Italian bread.
We've been in business for possibly maybe about 100 years, give or take. The Syracuse Historical Society brought us a picture of this street, Pearl Street, 1904. There was trolley tracks in the street, brick streets, and horse-drawn carriage with ice, said ice on it. It was really cute. And there was next door to us was a bar and a meat market, but they're no longer here. But I've been here, this will be my 28th year. I started when I was 14 years old, my first job, and on the weekends and everything. But now I enjoy it. I love the customers. They know me by first name. They call me Jimmy, you know, they see me grow up here. The first step is the mixing process, and that's when we put the flour and the water and the salt and the yeast all together in the mixer, and we mix it up for about 12 to 15 minutes. And then we dump it in like a big trough, what we call a proof box, and that stays for about an hour, hour and a half. Let it raise up nice and fluffy and everything, let it ferment, and then we'll take it out and cut it individually in 20-ounce pieces, and then we'll let it raise again. We let it rise 3 times instead of most people once or twice, but we do it 3 times. And then we shape it, and then we let it raise 1 more time before we put it in the oven, so it's a 3-raised dough. And all the bakeries at one time did it like this, but then they changed over, or they just closed up, or they just went modern, but we stayed the same, and it's worked well for us.
Fresh produce is sold by area farmers at the regional market, established in 1938, not far from the Inner Harbor. The Syracuse China Corporation, with roots dating back to 1871, has evolved from the small canal-side Onondaga Pottery Company into one of the world's leading suppliers of commercial china for restaurants. The Erie Canal provided an efficient way for the company to transport needed raw materials to Syracuse, and then to ship its finished china products to waiting markets. The present factory, just north of the city, opened in 1921. A leader in ceramic research, Syracuse China perfected the underglaze decal process. These decals helped to make the company's DeWitt Clinton pattern one of its best sellers for over 60 years. And yes, it's named for the New York State governor who championed the construction of the Erie Canal.
The present-day Erie Canal uses many natural bodies of water as it completes its path from Albany to Buffalo, and one of those bodies of water is Oneida Lake. On the eastern shore of Oneida Lake is a small town called Sylvan Beach. Now, Sylvan Beach actually turns into a big town in the summer because a lot of people come to visit this town. One of the reasons is it's got lots of things for people to do in the summer, and it's got some great places for boats to tie up. It has an amusement park, and it has some great restaurants. In fact, one of them is a landmark restaurant called Erie's that's been here since 1934. We're headed over there right now. So who was the cook in the family?
Who's the cook? I actually was the cook. My wife was a hairdresser when they were here. He was going to tell you that. And she didn't even know how to fry an egg. But I wanted her to stay in that business, but she wanted to come here and be with me. So she quit hairdressing and came up here. But I tell you, in 2 months' time, she took over everything.
When I was taught how to make the sauce when I first got out of college, we're still using the same brands from the same suppliers. My grandfather and my father used to make the sauce. It's been passed on to me and my son now. So once in a while I can grab one of them to give me a hand. But otherwise, it's Eddie and I are usually making the sauce.
Did you want to see the pies?
I do. Yes.
You're interested in learning how to bake a pie?
I'm interested in learning how to eat a pie, but I'll bake it first if I have to.
The pies are all homemade and have brought summer visitors here for generations.
This is vanilla cream coconut.
And you do all your own crust.
All our own crust.
That's great.
Yeah. Homemade dough. Pudding.
What's your favorite flavor, Emily?
What's your favorite pie?
The chocolate.
Chocolate?
Cream.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Oops, I got your head.
You make them look really tempting.
Oh, they're yummy, huh? Coconut's my favorite. That's why I'm making a coconut, okay?
Mommy, can I do some?
Now, how many of those will you make and go through a day?
Good.
Well, on a good summer day, we could sell over 100 pies.
100 pies.
This piece is all mine. There are a number of canal museums across the state. East of Syracuse is the Chittenango Landing Canal Boat Museum, where boats were built and repaired. The home of canal engineer Nathan Roberts is in nearby Canastota, where the Canal Town Museum sits along a section of the enlarged Erie. Some larger vessels provide onboard overnight accommodations on their canal cruises, but the canal, with its many low bridges, was built for shallow draft, low-profile barges, not high-mast sailing vessels and ocean-going ships. Due to these low bridges, everything on the upper decks of ships like this one, including radar antennas and even the pilot house, have to be lowered. They're designed for this special service. Reservoirs, such as Delta Reservoir, which was created by the construction of Delta Dam, provide water to maintain the canal system's 12-foot minimum depth. Most of the water for the Erie comes from New York State's Adirondack region and is channeled through Delta Reservoir, north of Rome. The water flows both east and west when it arrives in Rome by way of the Mohawk River near the city's renovated terminal wall. Within walking distance of Rome's waterfront is the reconstructed 1777 Fort Stanwix. It withstood a 3-week siege by British forces during the American Revolution. The mule-drawn packet boat ride is the star attraction at Rome's Erie Canal Village, a wonderful recreation of an 1800s canal-era community.
The early 1800s in New York State belonged to the canals. The late 1800s, early 1900s belonged to the railroads. In fact, by that time, the railroads had pretty much replaced the canals for commercial traffic. We're in Utica's Union Station. Union Station is a 1914 Beaux-Arts architecture style building, and where most of the other railroad stations along the Central New York corridor have been repurposed or are in disuse, Utica's Union Station is still in use as a railroad station today. I'm at Benton's Landing on the Erie Canal. This is in the town of Little Falls. And right beside me, of course, is the canal. Behind me is the highest lift lock on the canal, which we will visit later. But right now, as we usually do, we've located one of the finest restaurants along the canal. In fact, this restaurant would be considered a fine restaurant pretty much anywhere. We're going to go there right now.
Water power was used as the energy source for the many mills that once operated here.
I'm going to make a dish which has become sort of a specialty of the canal side during the autumn season, and the chicken with the apple cider sauce. I'm going to lightly flour the chicken breasts. I'm in my 20th year now.
20 years?
I opened in 1982. I'm going to lightly color them in the pan. People stop on the boats. A lot of people come through in the fall, in the summer months, particularly those who are moving boats back and forth from Florida or the Caribbean to the Great Lakes. And then I'm going to take some Calvados, which is a French apple brandy from the Normandy area. I'm just going to glaze a little bit with that. Then I will add the sweet apple cider. And now we'll put it in the oven, about a 350 degree oven for about 15 minutes. We have our chicken, and you can just hold that to the side into this pan. So this takes a little while, but we reduce that down. And now I'm adding about a cup of, well, a whole cup of heavy cream. And I will add, and I to help thicken it, I'm going to add a little bit of what we call beurre Meunier.
Now you know why you wait for a well-prepared meal.
The reduction of a sauce is very important. Just thicken a little bit with the flour, but not it's not a real thick sauce, just a very light sauce. Got a little fresh mint from my garden. We're gonna put on there.
Sauce on it. I'm going to do this very ladylike too. It really prepares the apple.
Yeah.
It's wonderful.
Watching boats passing through a lock is a popular canal activity, especially here at Lock 17, with its vertical lift of more than 40 feet, the greatest in the world until the construction of the St. Lawrence Seaway. Rock climbers can often be found scaling these natural walls adjacent to Lock 17, said to provide some of the best rock climbing in central New York. The same geologic rock shelf that challenged the canal builders today challenges rock climbers. With a little help from a local expert, I couldn't pass up this opportunity.
I feel like I'm going home and you're going to climb this rock. No, actually, I think this is kind of exciting, and if I don't make a fool of myself, it will be great. Okay, if I fall now, that's not a good sign, is it?
No.
I got the shoes, I got the harness, got the chalk pack, I got my microphone, so you can hear me scream, and we're ready.
Just trying to avoid the wet spots. If you go up a little bit and you want to test the rope, you can.
You go up a little bit and you want to come down?
Yeah.
That's okay?
That's okay too. Relax, breathe, remember to breathe. It's always a good thing. Keep breathing, relax. You're looking real good. Step up. Good job. Really good job.
Now
Step
what?
out to the right a little bit. You see there's a face hole? There it is. You got it. There you go. Great job.
All right.
Okay, just lean back.
Okay.
Walk your feet out, lean back, and I'll start letting you down. Here we go.
All right.
Big fun, huh?
Yep.
Quite a rush, isn't it?
Oh my God.
There you go. You're on the ground again.
And that was easy, right? Holy cow.
That's good.
If you're in the mood to visit an historic attraction, you can try the General Herkimer home in the Little Falls area. I'm actually on a dock on the canal outside the Herkimer home, and next to me, of course, is Erie Canal. Right here, it's about 12 feet deep, which means that this dock can accommodate boats up to about 40 feet in length. So you can pull up here, tie up, and then it's just a short walk up to the house. Now, General Herkimer was known as the hero of the Battle of Oriskany. This was a Revolutionary War battle in which the Americans fought the British. The Americans won. General Herkimer, unfortunately, was wounded in the leg and later died. These are the remains of the old Schoharie Creek Aqueduct, which carried the old Erie Canal over the Schoharie Creek. Today, this area is located near Lock 12 on the present-day Erie Canal in Fort Hunter, New York, and you'll find a visitor center and a general store located here.
At Putnam's Canal Store and picnic area, you can see the remains of the Yankee Hill Lock, a part of the enlarged Erie, alongside the Mohawk River, a part of the current Erie. Just a few miles east is Amsterdam.
This lovely waterfront park here in Amsterdam, New York is definitely boater friendly. It's all part of a renovation that's going on in many waterfront towns along the Erie Canal. Boaters can find all of the amenities they need for docking, as well as find close by shops and other services.
From Amsterdam, it was on to Waterford, the eastern terminus of today's Erie. To get there, boaters have to navigate Waterford's famous flight of 5 locks.
You can make it to this whole level in an hour and 15 minutes, the whole flight.
The Waterford flight raises and lowers boats between the Mohawk and Hudson Rivers. The locks provide the largest lift, 169 feet total, over the shortest distance in the world. When you're in the upper locks, you can look down on the rest of the flight and the Hudson River Valley. Remnants of locks from the enlarged Erie can be viewed as they parallel the current flight. The Champlain Canal, which extends north to Lake Champlain, meets the Erie here in Waterford, and heading south on the Hudson takes you to the harbor of New York City. At the base of the flight is Waterford's modern waterfront, where a birthday party for the 100-year-old tug, Urger, is underway. We celebrated the tug's nomination to the state and national registers of historic places.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Urger. Happy birthday to you.
And many more.
Yes, there was a cake. And lots of people to celebrate in this town that sits at the junction of the man-made Erie Canal and the historic Hudson River. We were able to board the Urger and travel south to Albany, accompanied by other tugs, as a part of Waterford's tugboat roundup. We passed through the Federal Lock in Troy, which is next to the dam that keeps this river navigable to the north. After a glimpse of the state capitol, we retraced our route, with onlookers all along the way. We passed under the Green Island Bridge and by Troy's revitalized waterfront, and on to the applause of people who were celebrating something more than this vessel. Knowingly or not, they were really honoring those imaginative people who dug a simple ditch that shaped America. And they were applauding those steadfast mules and hoagies whose spirit and endurance launched the American dream.
I've got a mule and her name is Sal, 15 miles on the Erie Canal. She's a good old worker and a good old pal, 15 miles on the Erie Canal. We've hauled some barges in our day, filled with lumber, coal, and hay. And we know every inch of the way from Albany down to Buffalo. Low Bridge, everybody down, Low Bridge, 'cause we're coming to a town. You always know your neighbor, you always know your pal, if you've ever navigated on the Erie Canal. Oh, we better look around for a job, old gal, 15 years on the Erie Canal. You bet your life I wouldn't part with Sal, 15 years on the Erie Canal. Giddy up there, gal, we messed that lock. We'll pass Rome before 6 o'clock. One more trip and then we'll go right back home to Buffalo. Low Bridge, everybody down, Low Bridge, 'cause we're coming to a town. You always know your neighbor, you always know your pal, if you've ever navigated on the Erie Canal. Oh, where would I be if I lost my pal? 15 years on the Erie Canal. Oh, I'd like to see a mule as good as Sal, 15 years on the Erie Canal. A friend of mine once got her sore, now he's got a broken jaw, 'cause she let fly with her right toe and kicked him back down to Buffalo. Low Bridge, everybody down, Low Bridge, 'cause we're coming to a town. You always know your neighbor, you always know your pal, if you've ever navigated on the Erie Canal. Oh, I don't have to call when I want my Sal, 15 years on the Erie Canal. She trots from the stall like a good old gal, 15 years on the Erie Canal. I eat my meals with Sal each day, I eat beef and she eats hay. She ain't so slow if you wanna know, she put the buff in Buffalo. Low Bridge, everybody down, Low Bridge, 'cause we're coming to a town. You always know your neighbor, you always know your pal, if you've ever navigated on the Erie Canal. Oh,